Happy Groundhog Day, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majeski back with you here in the North Georgia Majeski Weather Studios with your Talking Live forecast update here on your February the 2nd, 2026. And according to that old groundhog, depending on which one you like, the one in Georgia, Bogart Lee, or the Puxatawny guy up there in Pennsylvania, they both say we got 6 more weeks of winter. So there you go. I guess I can just hang up my hat and go ahead and do something else. But anyway, we do have your updated forecast, and we are going to see some milder temperatures briefly. A little bit of a roller coaster ride, but I think next week we're probably going to settle into some above normal temperatures returning back into the area for at least a little while. Now, before we get into this full update, if you're new here to the Talking Live Broadcast Channel Facebook page, please give us a follow. And if you're watching over on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future weather updates. All right, let's go ahead and take a live look there in Chattanooga as we got blue skies out there. Not looking bad. It's still a bit on the cool side, but definitely not as cold as what we saw over the weekend. That's for sure. Looking better out there. Blue Ridge got some clouds for the moment, but this will clearly move on out here. We should see clearing skies here for this afternoon. Yep, that's some snow out there in the mountains here across Lake Chattooga, and that'll continue to slowly melt on off as the warmer weather moves back in. Current watches and warnings, nothing in our immediate area to worry about. Got some freeze warnings there to cross South Georgia and into Florida. Believe it or not, that goes all the way down into South Florida, once again with freezing temperatures expected there tonight. Local radar is quiet, should remain that way at least until late tomorrow. I think tomorrow afternoon we'll start seeing some rain moving back into our area by the afternoon and really picking up for tomorrow night. So get ready for some wet weather moving in for there. Regionally, looking at, again, some clouds up across parts of Tennessee and North Carolina, North Georgia, but sunshine looking into the area. Really not looking too bad. You see the cloud field kind of right through there, kind of sneaking down in North Georgia, kind of riding on to the east there. So, again, we'll see plenty of sunshine here for the rest of the afternoon. Temperatures are warming up to the 40s. You notice we do have that area of high pressure here anchored right on the Tennessee, South Carolina border right there. So, it's going to be sliding on off as we watch our next weather system arriving in our area going in for tomorrow. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that latest model data here. We'll get you through this, kind of watch that timestamp there in that upper right-hand corner as we kind of go through the time period. You notice that blue line's at least going up to the north temporarily. That means we're going to warm things up a little bit. But here comes the rain here. Looks like coming into the early afternoon. So about 1 o'clock, we're seeing some of that rain moving in across the area. And some decent rain. This is not overly heavy, pretty widespread. It'll be pretty steady, but looking pretty good as we get some decent rains in here. Looks like it should be wrapping up as we go into your Wednesday morning. A little bit of snow trying to fly up in there, just a little bit, maybe a few flurries in there on the backside of this. This moves on through late in the day on Wednesday, and then it'll turn colder briefly going into Thursday. So we're a little bit of a roller coaster ride with the temperatures. And then I think as we go to next week, that's when I suspect we'll get the really milder stuff coming back in here. Now, as far as the rain totals are concerned, not bad. I think looks like generally maybe 3/4 of an inch. Maybe get some localized areas that may get an inch of rain out of this. So pretty decent, pretty wide coverage. So we'll take it. The only problem with these rain events is that they're coming too sparsely apart. In fact, our next major rain event right now tracking is next week. So again, the 7 days is not a good pattern for us as the lake levels continue to fall. Drought conditions are still in place, and hopefully we'll get a little more wetter pattern here as we go deeper into February. I'm not expecting it, probably not until the second half of the month. For right now, these rainfalls are going to be pretty limited here over the first couple of weeks of February. So let's go look at our forecast map here. Again, watch a little timestamp there on top as we kind of highlight these from the National Weather Service here as we kind of go into your Tuesday. So again, watching that system off to the west coming on into our area, picking up into the afternoon. You see that dark green. That, of course, means rain chances greater than 50% going into tomorrow night. So tomorrow night will be kind of wet, and then we go into your Wednesday. Things will be drying on off here. It'll be a bit cooler going into Thursday, and then as we go into the weekend, we got another front coming in here. So going into Friday, you see that next front coming on down here. So, like I said, a little bit of a roller coaster ride with these temperatures, but not as cold. Be clear about that. Not as bad. So this comes on down south. Going into Sunday, not looking too bad there with that high pressure there. And then Monday, you'll notice that high pressure to the south. We'll start seeing this developing westerly wind here. And I suspect as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, maybe some 60s back in here. That'll feel pretty good. We haven't seen that in a little while here across the area. But again, we're going to be dealing with seasonal to a little bit below normal temperatures here over the next 7 days. All right, so here's our forecast here for tomorrow, Chattanooga. Again, rain's picking up in the afternoon. Dry in the morning, coming in the afternoon, 70%, and that'll continue into Tuesday night with that high rain chance, 70 to 80%. So again, even though the morning lows around 28, we're not expecting any kind of freezing precipitation. It'll be rain as we go into the afternoon. So afternoon showers increasing there. Morning lows mostly in the 20s. We will see increasing clouds from west to east. So what may end up happening for tonight is your morning lows may end up bottoming out, say 2, 3, 4 in the morning, may start creeping back up if the clouds come in early going into your Tuesday. So watch out for that. Afternoon highs, again, with the showers picking up in the afternoon from west to east. Georgia, y'all will stay pretty much like Blue Ridge, LJ. Y'all probably won't get the rain until later in the afternoon. But again, east Tennessee looking like, again, after lunch hour, getting a little damp there. Regionally looking like this: 48 in Nashville, 49 in Memphis with that rain in the area, 62 in Columbus, 63 in Jacksonville. So everybody across the southeast starting to warm up a bit after some very, very cold weather here, especially over the weekend. And then over the next 7 days, here we go. As we got that cool down on Wednesday, we're going to warm right back up, going to the mid-50s on Friday. Again, that next front coming in on Saturday, and then warm right back up going into Monday, back in the mid-50s. So a little bit of that up and down a little bit. And I think as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday next week, again, I think we got a possibility of getting some 60s back in here, which will, again, feel pretty good. So above normal temperatures are expected to come back at us after going into next week, and then we'll see what happens with the long-range pattern. What I'm looking at right now is, judging by what's been going on up in the Arctic, what's called a stratospheric warming event that just taken place, that typically dislodges the polar jet, once again, a polar vortex coming down. Usually takes a couple of weeks for that to work out. So I'm thinking the second half of February will turn colder again. So we're kind of a little bit of a roller coaster ride this week, either normal or a little bit below, above normal going into the next week, and then the last 2 weeks of February remains to be seen. We'll see what happens with that, but that's been kind of the pattern we've been in when we've had these warming events of the polar jet stream, which has been kind of weak this year. All right, anyway, that's y'all's update for now. I again appreciate you guys checking us out. Please give us a follow over there on Facebook. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And very important, very, very important, make sure you hit that notification bell, because if you don't hit that, you won't get notified when we do these forecast updates. All right, you guys take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.